Hello, friends. Let us start today's clinic about diagnosis of eye, means diagnosis in the eye examination. As you all are aware of, the eye examination comprises of four parts, that is history, examination, diagnosis, and management. Out of this, diagnosis carries 5 marks in the exam out of 30, and it is very easy, friends, and you should be able to tell us about the diagnosis in the exam without any uh, ambiguity or without any doubt. So I'm going to share a screen with you which shows the a PowerPoint presentation about diagnosis, and I will also share the images of various ocular diseases which will be there in the examination in practical. So you'll be able to easily identify the common ocular diagnosis. So let us start. So whenever you tell the diagnosis in the examination, these are the natural questions that will be asked to you, or logical questions that will be asked to you by the examiner. That how did you arrive at this diagnosis? What is the differential diagnosis, and what investigations will you perform to confirm your diagnosis? And you have to always mention the diagnosis of right eye and left eye separate. These are the common cases that will be given to you in the exam, like immature senile cataract, mature senile cataract, aphakia, pseudophakia, and pterygium. So, how do you differentiate between mature and immature cataract? So, before starting with this diagnosis, let me tell you one thing, that in the whenever you are asked in the exam about the diagnosis, don't mention the name of the patient or history of the patient. Don't mention anything, but only mention what you have seen in the right eye and what you have seen in the left eye. So cataract will be the most common case that will be given to you in the examination. The cataract can be immature, it can be mature, it can be nuclear, it can be hypermature, and you should be able to tell us the type of cataract, because it has a bearing on management of the patient. Because if the cataract is mature or hypermature, the patient will require early surgery, as in contrast with the immature cataract. So you should be able to differentiate between mature and immature cataract. So the visual acuity is very low in mature cataract. The patient is able to count the fingers, or he can just see the light. That is, the visual acuity is finger counting to perception of light. Whereas in immature cataract, the visual acuity will be more. Some patients will give vision up to 6 by 9 also, depending upon the degree of cataract. And if you see the visual acuity is low in immature cataract, means if the cataract is immature and the visual acuity is low, then you should suspect some other conditions like retinal conditions in that patient. The iris shadow is present in immature cataract, whereas it is absent in mature cataract. If you do distant direct ophthalmoscopy, then you can see a red fundal glow, maybe faint, in immature cataract, and you can see black shadow against that red glow in immature cataract, which denotes the cataract. But the fundal glow will be totally absent in mature cataract. And most importantly, the lens color, when you shine a light in the patient's eyes, what you see through the pupils is nothing but the lens. That is also called as pupillary reflex. So the pupillary reflex is grayish white in immature cataract, while it is pearly white in mature cataract. It is brown to black in nuclear cataract and milky white in hypermature cataract. Let us see some of the images too, so that you can get a clear idea of that. So my apologies for the delay. Yes. Friends, now you can see the photo very clearly here. See, look at this photograph. Look at this image. The cataract looks pearly white in color. So this is mature cataract. Look at this cataract also. It is also whitish, slightly brown and whitish in color. So it is a mixture of cortical and nuclear cataract. Now you see, in the last slide or in the last picture, you have seen a very white pupil, where here the pupil is grayish white in color. Okay, so this is immature cataract. Here the pupil, if you notice the pupil is, the pupillary reflex is brownish in color. So it is advanced nuclear cataract. Almost it is ripe only. Whereas this cataract, if this is a slit lamp photo, which shows nuclear sclerosis, which is say a grade 3. The color is it is amber colored cataract. Okay. Again, these slides are showing immature cataract. Can you see this? There are white opacities in the lens. The lens color is slightly grayish in color, but it is not totally white. Same like this also. And this also, if you see, the peripheral part of the lens is transparent. It is black, and the central part is becoming yellowish in color. If you see this, this is a posterior subcapsular cataract. The cataract is present only in the center of the lens, and that too posteriorly. Rest of the lens appears transparent. So these are the images of immature cataract. So if you can see, this is mature cataract where the pupil is pearly white in color. This is immature cataract where the pupil is grayish white in color. This is posterior subcapsular cataract where you can see a cataract in the central portion of the posterior part of the lens. Here you can see specks of opaque material in the cataract. So this is cuneiform senile cortical cataract. So these are various types of cataracts. So how does the lens looks like in hypermature cataract? It looks milky white in color, friends. If you notice, this is the nucleus of lens. It has liquefied. The cortex has liquefied, and the nucleus has sunk to the inferior portion. So this is hypermature Morganian cataract. This is also hypermature cataract. This cataract, this may be hypermature or this may be mature. We don't know because we cannot make out whether the lens, the cortical matter is nuclefied or not. Right. Here, this image shows clear-cut Morganian cataract. If you can see, this is the nucleus. This is a liquefied nucleus which has sunk down because of the gravity inferiorly, and the rest of the cortex appears liquefied. So this is hypermature Morganian cataract. The other type of hypermature cataract is hypermature sclerotic cataract. So that's one diagnosis, right? Then the next case that will be given to you will be pseudophakia. So how do you notice? How do you justify your diagnosis in pseudophakia? So first and foremost, the patient will give you history of cataract operation. The patient will give you history of cataract surgery. That is very important. And the color of pupil will be black in color. And you can see a shining reflex through the pupillary area that is indicative of intraocular lens. What is meant by pseudophakia? Pseudophakia means presence of artificial lens. So that is called as pseudophakia. So the lens has to be there, intraocular lens has to be there. So in the pupillary area, you can see a shimmering reflex. If you notice carefully, especially in fresh patients, if the patients are recently operated, at the limbus you can see a scar which denotes the limbal wound. Sometimes you may see sutures when the surgeon has taken sutures. Normally we are not taking sutures in cataract surgery now, but sometimes we have to take sutures. So we can see a sutures also there. The anterior chamber is deep, and the patient is able to do his day-to-day activities without any glasses, means the unaided visual acuity is satisfactory. So अगर आप पेशेंट से पूछते हो तो पेशेंट विल से टू यू कि मुझे ऑपरेशन के बाद अच्छा दिखाई देता है, so that indicates that lens has been put, because if the lens has not been put, then patient always has to use glasses, right? Again, let us go to some images. Oh, sorry. Oh, this is sort of it. Yeah, friends, look here. This is a very good photograph, which is probably taken on the slit lamp. Normally, we won't see such pictures, but here you can see a red glow. That is because the picture has been taken in a coaxial illumination. This red glow is of the retina, and you can see the lens very clearly here. This is the anterior capsule, the rim of the anterior capsule. This is the optic portion of the lens, and this is the haptic portion of lens. So this is pseudophakia. But this is normally you won't see such thing when you examine the patient with torch. So this is the appearance when you see with the torch. You can see that the pupil is black in color and there is a shining reflex which is there in the pupillary area. And you can also see the sutures at the limbus. These all are indicative of pseudophakia or presence of artificial or intraocular lens. But normally we put the lens in the posterior chamber. That means we put the lens behind the iris. But sometimes you may see the patient, the intraocular lens in the anterior chamber like this or this. Again, this is very classical picture. This is how you will see in the, this is normal magnification. So this is how you will see when you examine the patient with torchlight. You can see that the pupil is black in color and you can see that there is a shimmering reflex in the pupillary area. So that is about pseudophakia. Then the next diagnosis will be aphakia. So aphakia means absence of crystalliness. In the olden days, when we used to do cataract surgery, sometimes we were not, sorry. Hold on some time, please. So in the olden days, sometimes we were not putting the intraocular lens. So in that case, again the patient will give history of cataract surgery in the past, but here the visual acuity unaided will be less. The patient won't be able to manage his day-to-day activities without glasses. Patient को हमेशा चश्मा पहनना पड़ेगा. So that will point a clue towards absence of any lens. That is aphakia. Then the pupil will be here jet black, is more black as compared to pseudophakia, and the antechamber will be deep. The iris will show slight tremulousness, so that is or movement, that is called as iridodonesis. So this is how you differentiate between pseudophakia and aphakia. Let me try to show you some images of aphakia. So these are the images of pseudophakia. I hope you have seen that. So this is pseudophakia where the pupil is black in color. It is not jet black. It is black in color, and you can see shining reflex. Okay. So this is the image of pseudophakia where the pupil is black in color, and it is not jet black, and you can see a shiny reflex here. This is how it looks under with a torch. Whereas let us see about aphakia now. See, in aphakia, you can see that the iris is here distorted, maybe because of surgery, but the pupil is jet black in color. You please see the color, note the color of pupil. It is jet black in color. And the anterior chamber also appears deeper than normal. Although it is not very clear here, but the anterior chamber is deeper. So this is how you differentiate between pseudophakia and aphakia. To summarize, in aphakia, the pupil is jet black in color. The visual acuity is less, and there will be the anterior chamber will be deeper than normal. So these are the points by which we can differentiate between pseudophakia and aphakia. Then the next diagnosis will be, friends, will be of pterygium. So you know what is pterygium basically. I'm not going to deal with the theoretical aspects of pterygium. So I just how to diagnose pterygium. Basically, pterygium is nothing but a triangular fold of conjunctiva that encroaches upon the cornea, right? So let me show you some images of pterygium, friends. Yeah, it's very clear here. There is nothing to tell me. Usually it is nasal in location, and it is horizontally placed. Okay, so this is a triangular fold of conjunctiva, a wing-shaped fold of conjunctiva that is encroaching upon the cornea, that is pterygium. Here also it is clear. Here it is encroached more into the cornea, so the patient's visual acuity may be less, and this may be an indication of pterygium surgery. This also, okay. So this is pterygium. So sometimes inflammations or chemical injuries also can cause similar appearance. So that is called as pseudopterygium. Remember, pterygium is degenerative condition, while pseudopterygium is because of inflammation. So how to differentiate between pseudopterygium and pterygium? This pseudopterygium can be located anywhere, friends. Pterygium is usually horizontal in location, and we can pass a probe beneath the pseudopterygium where we cannot pass a probe beneath true pterygium. So that is how you differentiate between pseudopterygium and pterygium. Friends, so this ends the today's, I mean, small lecture about how to diagnose the ocular condition. I hope you have understood uh, the key differentiating points between mature and immature cataract, pterygium and pseudopterygium, and pseudophakia and aphakia. These will be the common cases that will be given to you in the university examination. And when we ask you about diagnosis, always don't tell us about history or name of patient. Just tell us what is there in the right eye and what is there in the left eye. And you should be able to justify your diagnosis. And 80% of diagnosis is made on the history. So you should take the history very meticulously in the patients. So that's all. Thank you, friends. I hope you have understood something from my lecture, and I am giving a very small assignment, just of one page. I am giving a small assignment of one page only. Just tabulate the differences between what you want to. I want you to do is just write down the how write down the tabulate or make a table in which you on one side you write the stage of cataract and other side you write the pupillary reflex or pupillary color. That's all, friends. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, and I'm now ending my lecture. Thank you so much.